Japan is often seen as one of the safest countries in the world, known for its low crime rates and tight-knit communities. But even in a nation as peaceful as Japan, darkness lurks beneath the surface. Throughout history, a few individuals have shattered this image, leaving behind terrifying legacies of fear and death. Today, we uncover the twisted minds behind Japan's most infamous serial killers. Their crimes shook the nation, left investigators baffled, and in some cases, remain unsolved to this day. Here are the top 5 most chilling serial killers in Japan. Number 5. Futoshi Matsunaga, the House of Horrors. Futoshi Matsunaga wasn't just a serial killer. He was a master manipulator, preying on his victims with psychological torture before leading them to their gruesome end. Active in the 1990s, Matsunaga and his accomplice, Junko Ogata, lured multiple victims into what became known as the Kitakyushu House of Horrors. Matsunaga used extreme psychological control, convincing his victims to turn on each other. He orchestrated horrific acts of violence within their own families, leading to deaths caused not just by his hands, but by those he manipulated. His methods were so cruel that even seasoned investigators were left traumatized. In 2005, he was sentenced to death, but the sheer horror of his crimes remains burned into Japan's history. Number 4. Tsutomu Miyazaki, the Otaku Murderer. Tsutomu Miyazaki, also known as the Otaku Killer, terrorized Tokyo in the late 1980s. His crimes were particularly horrifying, not just for their brutality, but for his obsession with recording and keeping souvenirs of his victims. Miyazaki preyed on young girls, luring them away before committing unspeakable acts. He then taunted their families by sending disturbing letters, detailing what he had done. Even after his arrest, his calm demeanor and obsession with horror anime only deepened the public's horror. Nicknamed the Dracula Killer, due to his deformed hands that prevented him from bending his wrists properly, Miyazaki showed no remorse. In 2008, he was executed, but his crimes remain one of the darkest stains in Japan's criminal history. Number 3. Issei Sagawa, the cannibal who walked free. Unlike most serial killers, Issei Sagawa committed just one murder, but it was so horrifying that it earned him worldwide infamy. In 1981, while studying in France, Sagawa lured a classmate, Renée Hardevelt, to his apartment, killed her, and consumed parts of her body over several days. When caught, he was deemed legally insane and sent to a psychiatric hospital. However, due to legal complications between France and Japan, he was deported back home, where he was eventually released as a free man. Even more disturbing, Sagawa embraced his notoriety, writing books about his crime, appearing on talk shows, and even starring in bizarre films. He remained a public figure for years before dying of natural causes in 2022. The fact that he never served a real prison sentence continues to shock and anger people worldwide. Number 2. Seto Sakakibara, the 14-year-old killer. Evil knows no age, and Seto Sakakibara is proof of that. At just 14 years old, he committed one of the most shocking crimes in Japan's history. In 1997, he brutally murdered 2 young children in Kobe, leaving one of their heads outside a school gate with a chilling note inside the mouth. The note, written in red ink, mocked the police and declared himself a killer who enjoyed murder. The media called him Sakakibara Seto, a name he gave himself, meaning the Holy Devil. Due to Japan's juvenile laws, he was released at the age of 21. He later changed his name, started a new life, and even wrote an autobiography detailing his crimes. His whereabouts remain unknown, but the fear he left behind has never faded. Number 1. The Monster with 21 Faces, the Unsolved Mystery. Some killers are never caught, and that makes them even more terrifying. The Monster with 21 Faces wasn't a single person. It was a criminal organization that terrorized Japan in the 1980s with poisonings, extortions, and cryptic threats. It all began with the kidnapping of the CEO of Glico, a famous food company. The group held him hostage, then released him without explanation. What followed was a nationwide crime spree. They poisoned supermarket products, sent letters taunting police, and threatened mass killings. Despite a nationwide investigation, the group was never caught. The case took a darker turn when the head investigator, Shoji Yamamoto, committed suicide out of frustration. After that, the group simply vanished, leaving behind only questions. To this day, no one knows who they were or what their real motive was. Were they terrorists, a cult, or just one person playing a twisted game? We may never know. Japan is a country of safety, beauty, and tradition. But even the safest places have shadows lurking beneath them. These cases prove that evil can exist anywhere, in any form. Some killers were caught, others walked free, and some remain a mystery. Which of these cases disturbed you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want more dark history and true crime, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Because sometimes, the scariest stories are the ones that are real.